What's up, guys? It's Ava and Ivy, and today is the day we have finally reached the premiere of Survivor season episode or Survivor season episode 49. Um, yeah. So what I meant by that was Survivor season 49, episode 1. This is going to be a big discussion. I mean, this is where all the initial alliances form. I feel like we saw a lot within this 2-hour premiere, so
For
how
sure.
about we start from the beginning? So, initial thought I had in the very beginning, the initial intro was so good. It was almost like daunting,
Oh
like
my
almost
gosh,
like
yes.
haunting, like daunting. And who was the? Do you know who the voice was behind the intro? Do you?
Jawan.
Okay, that's what I thought too. And I'm like,
Yeah. You're
he's
like,
on my
wait, why is
tribe.
he why is he so
I
important?
see
That's what I
you.
was thinking. I was
Yes.
like, why is it a horror movie?
Right.
Why are you gonna take over in Act Two and why do they bring that up?
Right. Yes. It's foreshadowing from the very beginning. So I have faith in Jawan just from that instant moment. When I realized it was Jawan, I was like, huh. Suspicious, suspicious.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that was awesome. And then it phased into the intros, which Alex, your guy, was the first guy to like talk, pretty
Mm-hmm.
much. What were your thoughts on
Yeah.
his little, I don't know, his beginning moments? I'd say.
I liked it a lot. I really like his story, and I think his job is gonna pay off. So I like that they brought that up about how he's good at kissing butt because he works in politics. I thought that was a funny thing, and I hope that's foreshadowing of him like having really good like social sway in the game.
hmm I could see that. I could see that. I feel like he was pretty like dominant in this episode. Like I feel like he
Yeah.
had a lot of speaking parts.
I know he was
Just
so
saying.
dominant that I started getting nervous. I was like, is he about to go
hmm
home? Like, is he about to go
Yeah.
home? But he didn't. He didn't.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, so we see Alex and then we see Savannah and then we see Jake, which I have mixed feelings about Jake.
Yeah, I agree.
I so the one thing that like swerved me or like was just kind of off. Like I hate how he said like, "Oh yeah, he can charm women." Like and that was one of his strengths. I was like, "You're about to have a reality check, buddy.
Yeah,
This is
that.
not how that game works."
Yeah, that was kind of annoying. Yeah, and yeah. Anyways, I have something to say about him later, but
Ooh,
yeah, I'll come
okay.
back to that. But yeah, no,
Well, I'll
I
have to wait and
agree.
see.
His intro was so interesting, and then like he's like, I'm a real life Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Which it's like then again, like thinking about the episode itself, like he does have a good story and motivation to be there as well. So like maybe it's just the TV show painting him in the very beginning like, the strong buff like whatever man,
Yeah.
and then it kind of phases into his softer side, but either way, I did not like the line of like, yeah, I can charm women. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Like,
No. No
mm-mm.
thanks.
I don't know about that.
Um And then we kind of the next person that I had notes about was Sophie B, I believe it is. Sophie with no E. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
Sophie B. Um what she said she's excited to lie and backstab.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited for that as well. Maybe that'll bring me points. So I liked
Yeah.
her. Um and then, we get onto the beach. This is the first time, everyone's in tribes meeting Jeff. Actually, I don't know if that's not the first time they met Jeff, but still,
But
very
still.
first moments of the
Yeah.
game. Whatever. Jeff picks Christina first to talk. I like writing these things down and mentioning them because I'm like, is this foreshadowing of
Yeah.
future episodes? I love to nitpick
Correct.
that apart. But Christina, very high energy. And then this
Mm-hmm.
is when Jake mentions his dad and gets emotional right at the beginning. So people like on the island, as players, see his softer side. I don't know if that was strategic or if that was just him sharing, but either way, that
Yeah.
was good thing for him to do. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Um, and then Steven. Let's talk about Steven for a second. I feel like he's a big personality. Steven's
Yeah.
the rocket scientist, right?
Yeah. Are we gonna? Okay, yeah. I have stuff
Yeah,
to
no, you
say, but
can.
it's later.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can get into it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
so we talked about him being the first boot, or I predicted him to be the first boot because I was like, if he mentions he's works for NASA as like a rocket scientist or whatever he is, he's done for. Um, And so I thought, surely enough, he's not gonna mention that's his job because that's immediate target. Alone, like
Hmm.
let alone the fact that he's super outgoing, which also puts a target on your back, I believe, in Survivor. And when he said that is what he does, I was like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh! Like me and Ava were live texting, and I was like, bro did not just say that. So I could not believe he was honest about it. Um, so I'm interested to see how that plays out with him in the game, with everybody knowing he's smart. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. I think he's also seeing later in the episode too how he got like so paranoid and was just like, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
overthinking everything. I'm like, you're done for, buddy.
You're done
Like
for.
what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. I
Which
agree.
maybe it's just like the first initial days where he's just like really stressing out, but I don't know. He's a big personality, and sometimes those personalities don't clash well with
Right.
a whole tribe. So,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, a little questionable, but he's fun. I
Yeah.
mean, great commentary too.
Yeah.
So, um okay, so going into the first challenge, right before that, Jeff kind of did his little overview of like how past players have formed the game that they're playing this season, and
That was cool.
like I know that was so cool. I love that, and the little flashbacks. I really
Mm-hmm.
like how they built it up. It like got me excited to watch the new season.
I
Because
agree.
I don't know. I feel like we always think of, oh, I don't know, this season might be boring. Oh, there's no big personalities, whatever. But like in reality, big personality or small, they shaped the game one way or another. So
Yeah.
it's just cool that they pointed that out, and I don't know. It was just a good
Mm-hmm.
scene in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
All right, so let's go into the challenge. Do you have initial thoughts on that? Anything that like stuck out during that
Yeah.
challenge?
Well, so I was interested when I saw Jake and Annie run out on the that's Blue Tribe, right?
Yeah.
When they sent Jake and Annie together to go get the boxes. I was very intrigued by that because I assumed like I don't know, I think it's an odd pairing because Annie didn't seem like the strongest player. So I'm like, why did they send her on the strength aspect of this? Like we know she's a runner from her interview, but you're carrying a giant box. Like, why did they send her out? Like, that was something when I was watching, I just was really confused about because I think there could have been stronger players to send for that part. But
Yeah, I feel like I had the same thought too, and then they did it again in the next challenge,
oh,
right?
right. I
When they
think
were paired
so.
together. I think their strategy is like put her with the strongest person, or else, they're like, imagine her carrying the snake with anyone else on the
Right.
tribe,
And
like they wouldn't make
yeah,
it.
you see, I understand that with the second challenge. I think that's fair. But the first
Mm.
one, until like the very end, we see him help her with the box. But
Mm.
at the beginning of that, she's carrying it alone. Like she's carrying a box by herself. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
this is individual strength. Like if you're sharing it, sure. But I was confused by that. But the second challenge, I think you're right. I think that was a good strat for that part.
Hmm. Yeah, I also think it's interesting with Annie, which I'm so nervous for her. She's my number 6 pick, which is
Mm-hmm.
fine. But like she almost went home, whatever. We're not there yet.
Yeah.
But her intro video, she was like, I get she's older, but she was like, yeah, I train people, something like cross country, something with running.
Yeah.
And then she was the last person like to get
I know.
to the blocks, in the run. So I was like,
I did notice that too. I was like, oh.
yeah, it's like interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about her. But going back to the challenge, obviously we do see Jake like dominating like everyone in basically every aspect. But then he kind of admitted later on in the game, like, this is hard. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not kind of ready for this. And he's the strongest one there. And he said that.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, that's pretty crazy. Um, but we see who else? The first two other couple for Red was Rizzo and Jawan. I was like, yes, my two
Mm-hmm.
guys. They ran first. Rizzo was struggling a little bit with carrying the boxes, so there's a
Right.
little weakness there. Um, and I don't know who ran out for yellow. We did see Jason and Christina do the puzzle and win,
Yeah.
which was,
Yeah, they had that.
I'm pretty sure, Yeah, because who had did it? Wait, someone had a lead. I feel like, and then yellow just was in last, and they came out of nowhere. No, am I
I
imagining
thought blue
that?
was in. I think blue was in last the whole time,
Okay, okay,
as far as I
I believe
remember.
that. Yeah,
But I think they
yeah,
did. They did do that puzzle pretty quick compared to everybody else.
yeah, yeah. It also could have just been the editing that like threw me off too, because I literally wrote down like, "Wow, they pulled that out quick," and then I was like, and then I said, "MC for the win?" Question mark? Question mark? Give me those points because she's on my
Give me
tribe
those.
too.
Yeah.
And then they won. I was like, yes, yes, great success. Like this is so
Yes.
good. Um, so I was really excited for that. They won the challenge. They got the pot, machete, and flint, and then blue and red had to choose one person to do the fight for supplies, and that ended up being Rizzo versus Alex.
Yes. Two of my guys. Two of my guys.
Yeah, yeah, two big players for Ivy. You know, they show Yellow getting back after the win. They were pretty safe. So I guess we could take this time to kind of debrief that tribe, which is MC, Steven, Matt, Christina, and Jason. Am I missing someone? MC, Steven, Matt, Christina, Steven, Jason. Yeah, no, that's the six.
Okay.
Okay. So, do you want to go? I have some things to say.
Um, I feel like I don't have too much to say. I think that we predicted well the fact that Matt would struggle to relate to everybody because he's a little bit older than everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
we definitely saw that play out. I really liked though, because he's on my tribe. I really liked how he was like staying back though. Like he knows he can do what they're doing better. But I liked when it highlighted the fact that he's staying back to not like get in the way and like show people up.
Mm-hmm.
So I still feel really good about Matt. That's all I have to say about
Yeah.
Yellow.
I texted Abby, I was like, Matt's had 0 lines so far.
I know. I
Matt's
was like,
kind of quiet.
Matt.
Like sus. But he you know, kind of had his moment later on in the episode. But
Yeah.
yeah, in the beginning he was super quiet. But I agree with you. I like how he knew his place. He didn't try to overstep because that just would have immediately, you know,
Yeah.
people would have X'd
Target.
him out immediately. So he's
Mm-hmm.
smart. He's playing
Mm-hmm.
smart. He's not just, you know, there for the vibes, I guess.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. What's your thoughts on
so
Yellow?
yeah. So MC, she's on my tribe. She said she's a social person. She's very built. I believe she's very athletic, so I have a lot of faith in her with like challenges and stuff like that. Um and she's also very supportive and positive. I forget what scene it was, but someone was, I don't know, I think someone was like doubting themselves or like just saying something. She was like, "No, like it's okay. Like we're all like that." So I like that aspect of her. It might have
Yeah.
been about Steven when he was opening up about his hearing aids, but I don't remember if that
Mm-hmm.
correlated.
Mm-hmm.
But he had that moment, and then after that, we noticed that like Christina and Steven immediately clicked with each other. Um, Going back to Matt though, which was also a really funny scene when Jason started talking about Super Smash Bros and like
Yeah.
streaming and that was such a funny bit to
That
include just to kind
was.
of show like the difference, and that's how they opened up that like Matt is a lot older than these people.
Right. Yeah. He's like, I don't even know
So
what that means.
yeah. That was really funny to me. But yeah, dude, I don't know if I don't have that much else about that. Christina's bird phobia was really funny. I liked
That
that
was funny.
scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of character development for Yellow in this part of the episode just because, you know, they were safe. They're like kumbaya right now. But to wrap up talking about Yellow in the initial phase, we saw Steven promising Matt, Jason, and MC with alliances. So this is where his game is getting tricky. You know, Steven's making promises to everyone. He's kind of overplaying, like we talked about earlier. He's getting paranoid, and I don't really like to see that. Like, that's just going to
Yeah.
bite him in the butt.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
that was like my initial notes on that tribe. Okay, yeah, let's talk about the fight for supplies. Let's talk about Alex versus Rizzo.
Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh, I loved this part of the episode. With them both being on my fantasy tribe, I was like, I'm gonna be happy no matter who wins. Um, But I feel like that was so good for both of them, like character building and like us getting to know them as an audience, as well as
Mm-hmm.
them like trying to prove themselves for their tribe. So loved that. And it was also just so funny to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I love Rizzo. The fact that when the puzzle thing was happening and he was copying his puzzle like piece by piece, even when he was standing there and he was like, it cracked
Yeah.
me up when he ran over and he like tapped him on the shoulder. He's like, "Hey buddy, sorry buddy," and he's like staring at his like puzzle to go copy it. Like that was just so good.
Yeah, dude. Rizzo's like, he's just comedic gold.
He's so good.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And he's right. He's like, this is Survivor. Why wouldn't I go look at his map? And the
Yeah.
fact that Alex came back, looked at the map, saw Rizzo looking at it, and then didn't like wreck it. Like he should have
Yeah.
just wrecked his map, which in the
True.
end it didn't even matter because Alex, dude, I don't know what was going on with him, but I guess he just wasn't digging deep enough to
Yeah, maybe
find the
not.
wheel. And like that's what his downfall was. But the fact that Rizzo pulled that out was so
Oh
funny. It was just so
my
funny.
gosh.
And dude, the fact that he didn't even have the last piece. He forgot to open one of the coconuts, and so the whole
I
time he's just
know.
struggling.
Oh
That
my
was
gosh.
so funny.
It was so good. And then when he's finally digging, he's like literally using his whole body to like figure out a way to just get this
Yeah.
sand out of there. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Talking
No,
about
you go.
Rizzo still, I just love the fact that you can so tell that Survivor wants to capitalize on how Gen Z and like how young he is with like all of his slang that like I know a lot of people watching the show aren't gonna even know what he's saying. Like the "we're cooked" or "we're" wait, what's that
Yeah.
something else he said? He said so many just
Cinema, like this is cinema or
yeah, this is
something.
cinema and something else. He's just so good
Yeah, he's hilarious. No wonder he's on 50, you know.
for
They want to pull
real,
those Gen Zers in.
right?
Um the line that I had from Rizzo, which I think I texted in our group chat, but he said, "I wish I could hug myself, but that's weird." Like
Oh,
after
that
he
was
won,
good. Yeah,
that
that
was
was so
good.
funny.
That
But
was
that's
good.
weird.
Yeah, I have a feeling we have a lot of good one-liners coming from him this season.
Oh,
So,
for sure. Yeah. He's a good person on our draft.
yeah. Um so I guess kind of phasing into Red and seeing Rizzo coming back to the tribe initially. You know, he gets there, he immediately says he won. They love him for that, and then he shares his story, which was a great strategy. Like he kind of phased into like telling the story of how he won into his life story.
Yeah.
And I mean, he missed out on those initial bonding hours with the rest of the tribe, so that was a really good thing for him to do that and kind of making a
Yeah.
connection to everyone. From what I've seen so far, I mean, the tribe loves him. Like
Yeah.
Savannah, Nate, which I do like Nate. Now I'm thinking about it. Savannah, Nate, Shannon, Jawan, Rizzo, and Sage.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I can only think of who a few of those people are off the top of my head. But first off, Savannah, I have her on my draft, and I didn't even realize when we watched the videos that she's from Atlanta. So
Oh
shout out
yeah.
Savannah, shout out ATL. And I just love her background and how she isn't telling anybody that she's works in like the news.
Mhm.
I think that's so good. And as for Jawan, it seems like he's gonna be a big person in this season just based on how much screen time he's gotten and the
Mhm.
fact that we saw him do the intro and everything. So I'm interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I agree. I do like Savannah too. She said initially that, you know, she's playing it safe, like you said, not mentioning that she's a reporter. Good strategy. I feel like there's reporters low key get a bad rap, or maybe they would
Yeah.
just think that, I don't know, she can talk well to other people.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that. So we see Shannon leading the yoga sessions, right? And
Yes.
then we
Okay.
see Savannah is like not really into all that, which is fine.
Mm.
Like you don't
Oh
have to be
yeah.
into it. That's when I was like, oh gosh, are they gonna beef? Like this might
Right.
not be good for Savannah, whatever. But she doesn't show that, you know, she's not really that into it. She sat there, she just I guess didn't really, I don't know, meditate, whatever. So there's a possibility we see Shannon, Savannah, and Nate align, which yes, Nate is the Marvel exec. Which I like him. I like how he's playing. It was funny how he said he was a PA, you know,
Mhm.
very far off from what he's actually doing.
Yeah.
He had one really funny line too where it was like, he said, I work on superhero films. I know how to form a team. I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And he said the Marvel reference. He's like, you can't. He's like, you shouldn't have two caps on one team.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to have a cap and an Iron Man. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, Marvel. Okay.
Okay, Marvel. Yeah, so he's funny. He's funny. And
Mm-hmm.
that's here later on the episodes when we see Nate, Savannah, Rizzo, and Shannon in an alliance, the core four on Red Tribe, which I like that group. I like them
Yeah.
sitting there. I mean, Savannah and Rizzo working together, that's all I really need.
Yes.
So
Same.
it sucks that Jawan is kind of left out of that, but I don't know. I feel like he's a strong character that people really like, and I think he may, kind of work himself into that. The outlier in this group may be Sage, because we barely really see Sage.
I don't even think I know who that is. So yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Which we did see Shannon and Sage initially be like, oh yeah, I feel like a soul sister vibe between us. But then it just like
Mm-hmm.
kind of disappeared and Shannon went off with Savannah, Rizzo, and Nate instead.
Yeah.
So Shannon's like the middleman basically. Like
Yeah.
everyone likes her.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how those dynamics kind of play out. All right, let's go into blue.
Yes.
We see Alex come back with his loss.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to say about that?
I felt so bad the way he was like dogging on himself about it over and over again. And it was almost making me nervous for his game that he keeps reminding everybody that he lost. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do? Like, what are you gonna do? It happened. But I'm glad that it didn't seem like it really affected it for that long. Just seems like he was in his own head about taking that loss.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really happy to hear when Jake had to say that he had an instant bond with Alex without having to say anything, as he called it, a bromance.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting seeing the way Jake talked about it to everybody else throughout the time we saw the Blue Tribe. Did you pick up on that? Like how often he just had to bring up him and Alex?
The bit where he was like,
Oh yeah.
it's a bromance, but we're not
like,
gay, like.
And then people were like talking
Like,
about
it's
like what
friends.
gay couples look like. And it was like, okay.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I remember like Alex got back, he was scared that people wouldn't really bond with him, and then Jake like
Yeah.
initially just like brought him in.
He was like, yeah.
Into his conversation.
Easy.
So,
yeah. I think it could be detrimental though, the fact that I don't know if this would be detrimental to Alex, Jake, or both, but the fact that Jake brings it up to so many people, how close him and Alex are. When Sophie goes up to Jake to try to build an alliance with him, he's like, yeah, but I'm with Alex. Like, you, me, and Alex, I guess. Like, whatever. And then it kind of keeps referring to it. And then when the other guy, what's his name? Then when Jeremiah tries to talk, he's like, oh yeah, me and Alex bromance, and then you. Like, maybe you shouldn't be so pushing so hard about this.
Yeah, I agree. And Sophie did point that out too. She was like, okay, well, Jake was initially my number one, but as soon as Alex got here, now it's Jake, Alex, then me.
Yeah.
So then she's like, she said to Jeremiah, she was like, me and you have to be each other's number ones out of this core four. Because they made like an alliance of four of them, but obviously Jake and Alex are going to pick each other over Sophie and Jeremiah. Yeah. Jake's making it easy for them to know who his true number one is.
Right.
So honestly, there's a lot of bad signs for Jake right now. I feel like that's already a disadvantage. Already being the strongest male in the game, also a disadvantage. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see where that goes. But talking about Jeremiah a little bit, Jeremiah says in his intro, he says he wants to come across as ditzy, like, I don't know, basically not smart is what he wanted to do. And we also see Nicole on this tribe, right? She just like in the beginning of the episode, she really annoyed me when she kept complaining about like, I can't do this because we don't have a machete. I can't do that. Like, I feel like they put that in on purpose because she was the first vote out, but that was just so annoying to me. I was like, you're already complaining. It's literally day one. Like, just do something else other than complaining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And just like, it's annoying for you because you don't have a machete, but nobody else in your tribe has a machete. Like,
right.
What are you complaining about? Like nobody else can do it. I was gonna say, I also think she might have put a target on her back, or I don't think it was the wisest thing of her to immediately in front of the whole tribe point out the bond between her and Jeremiah for being the only two gay people on the
Mm-hmm.
tribe. Because then it's like, if I heard that, I'd be like, oh dang, so does she just not want to work with me? Because I'm not
Right.
gay too. You know what I mean? Like you just created a divide where there did not need to be one, and that isn't going to pay off in your interest.
I agree. I agree. She like immediately made that divide for no reason. Funny thing about the tribe though, funny thing about Jake and Nicole, when so random, but when Jake decided to become the shoe bandit and hid Nicole's shoe, of course it was Nicole's too.
Yeah, of
Like
course. Yeah,
that
that was
was so funny. And
crazy.
then he just said, "Every day I'm gonna hide a left shoe for no reason." I'm like, okay, like
Okay.
sure. But then
Okay,
it's like,
Jake.
will that cause issues?
Yeah,
Maybe.
like why are you doing that? Why are you
Like
doing
it's
that?
either gonna be like an ongoing joke or like people are gonna get annoyed and be like, all right, who's throwing my shoe? I feel like they talked about it a good amount too, so it's probably gonna be an ongoing bit, I feel like.
Right. Okay, I need to hear your opinions on Annie.
I don't know what my opinion is on her. Like clearly she's kind of out of the loop. You know, we have Jake and Alex, and then we have Sophie Jeremiah. Nicole is obviously out, and Annie was on the bottom after Nicole would be. So I don't think Annie is also realizing that she's like such a nuisance almost to the tribe.
Yeah.
Maybe she does and she just hasn't talked about it, but like it's blatantly obvious in the challenges that she's kind of, you know, struggling to get through them or like holding
Yeah.
them back. Skipping ahead to the freaking immunity challenge when she was like, I can't move it anymore. I can't move it. What do you mean? That bothered me. Like, that's when I was like, she's going home. Like she's
Yeah.
getting voted off. But then
Right.
Nicole luckily overpowered that
Yeah.
this time.
I feel like we also need to mention the fact that very early on, I don't know if this is right when they get to camp or how early this was in the episode, but we see everybody together at like the well getting water and they're like, "Oh, we're
Mhm.
going to go over here." And she goes, "Oh no, I'm just going to stay back. I'm going to walk that way."
Mhm.
Alone? Day
Yeah.
1 of Survivor? Do you want to go home?
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
then
Like did
Jeremiah,
she
I think it
realize that?
was. Yeah, and like, yeah, I think Jeremiah then had like a moment where he was like, yeah, you don't do that in Survivor. Like,
Right.
that's
Yeah.
101 target on your back. And so that was crazy to me. It's like she doesn't realize. I don't feel too
Mm.
good about her longevity in the game.
Here's another interesting point to point out about Annie. So, hear me out.
Uh oh.
We see
Okay.
Alex.
Yes.
Alex says Annie's like a mother figure to him and he wants that. He wants an alliance like that, but he wants it to be undercover. So here we have this Alex and Annie undercover alliance. If Blue is the losing tribe, you know, like over and over, just like Vula, the green tribe, was last season, what if we see Alex and Annie persuade Sophie and Jeremiah to go after Jake? Or, well, yeah, I guess it would have to be Jake.
Or, yeah, no, I could see that. I could see how that could be a reality.
The only issue with that is Jake and Alex's bond, but honestly, if Alex is smart, like with his game,
Yeah, get him out. Yeah,
you're
because
yeah, like
Jake
yeah,
is a target on Alex's back.
yeah,
And Alex isn't dumb. Alex sees that. There's no way he doesn't.
right. So I don't know. I could definitely see that being a possibility
Yeah,
in the future of the season where it kind of just
I like
flips
that.
and Annie somehow just like slides through and makes it further
Yeah.
than we think. So
Yeah, I
I'm
could
also
see
just
that. I
having
could see
hope
that.
because she's on my tribe, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah. So we'll see with that.
hmm
And then okay, last thing I want to talk about Blue Tribe, just like for tribe dynamics with Sophie. Sophie says she wants to use Jake as a meat shield, which is valid. I really do like how she's playing. I feel like she very much has like that kind of chameleon personality. You know, like I
hmm
feel like we've talked about that before. She's very good at getting along with anyone in the tribe. She's likable to everyone, so
Yeah.
I feel like she'll sit pretty good on this tribe, even if they do continue to lose.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
so I do have confidence in her.
Yes, I
That
agree.
is all I have for Blue Tribe dynamics.
So we've seen this challenge before on
Yes.
Influencer, 36-hour Survivor. So it's fun to see that again. And yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say about this challenge. What did you think?
Yeah, I don't really either. The only thing I have is about Blue Tribe, and it's Jeff said something. Jeff said it was when Nicole and Jeremiah were carrying the snake, and he said, "You want a picnic? Go to a park." I was like, "Okay, Jeff."
Wait. Oh my gosh, I
Like
love
he
Jeff.
look, he like roasted them. You want a picnic? Go to a
Picnic,
park.
go to the park. That's good. Wait, I'm gonna steal that. You want a picnic? Go to a
Loki,
park.
yeah, he cooked with that. He cooked.
He did.
And then the only other thing, just like pointing out, obviously Blue loses. Blue was performing really bad. We already talked about Annie giving up. You know, like what are you doing? What are you doing? That pissed me off. Um, but yeah, Blue loses. Yellow again wins immunity, which this is interesting for us honestly because when we were talking about our first boots, we were like Yellow's weakest tribe. Yellow doesn't look too good. Right. They just won both challenges first episode. But honestly, yeah, I don't have much about that challenge either. And then so we go into the scramble and then the first vote out of the season. Do you have any notes on like the scramble? What kind of happened at camp?
Not really. I mean, I just remember Nicole throwing up.
Ew.
That was crazy.
That pissed me off. Why did they show that? Why did they show that?
I don't really know.
Like, come on, dude. Like, at least, like, do the audio and not the freaking projectile vomiting.
Yeah.
Like, when she covered her face and threw up in her hand, I was like, we gotta go.
We gotta go.
And then they showed her throwing up again.
Yeah, like, why are we?
All right. Yeah, that was wild to me. That was actually wild. The only other note I have about, like, the scramble, we see Annie. She tries to align with Sophie, and then Sophie immediately goes and tells Jake, Alex, and Jeremiah.
Yeah.
You know, so clearly, like, Sophie doesn't want to be aligned with Annie. And then, obviously, it's Annie versus Nicole going into Tribal, and I didn't really know, like, if it was going to be Annie or Nicole, though. Like, I was like, it could be either one.
Jeremiah? He, like, just said what's going on. He said, yeah, we're voting out the weakest person. And then when he said that,
I do remember that.
I remember Nicole turning to Alex and saying, like, am I good? And he was like,
yeah.
And he was like, yeah. It's crazy.
Good one, Alex. So, yeah, everyone voted Nicole. No one even voted for Annie besides Nicole, which is good for Annie, I guess. That's why I'm saying Annie's low key. Annie's gonna flip it. Annie's gonna change the game.
Right.
Or she's gonna be voted out next week. So
let's not say that though, because that's definitely to both of us. But
yeah. But honestly, you know, overall with the episode, I think it was a really good beginning episode. I feel like a lot happened. They did really good at kind of showing like who's aligned with who, breaking down people's stories. I feel like in my head, thinking back to it, the people I remember the most is Rizzo and Alex, Jake, Joanne. I guess Savannah. I guess.
Sophie?
What about the other Sophie? I had 0 notes about the other Sophie.
I mean, I'm sure she said something, but nothing.
Wait, what tribe is she on?
I think she's on Yellow.
Okay, that's probably why, because Yellow, you know, I mean, they won both times. They're all kumbaya right now, so. I kind of like Sophie B, like, being on the losing tribe, because she's gotta, you know, she's gotta think, she's gotta make moves, she's gotta earn me points.
Yeah, that's what she's thinking. She's like, earn Ava points.
Yes, she's like, need to win this for her fantasy tribe.
Yes.
Overall closing thoughts on the episode? Maybe anything, predictions for next week? I don't know.
Ooh. I mean, low-key looks like we're having a double elimination next week. So that'll be interesting if that's the case to see what everybody decides.
I do remember seeing on TikTok, episode 3, I think, is called Lovable Losers. I don't know if you saw this. But it's like, okay, so probably it's going to be another tribe losing again. Like the same tribe losing over and over again, which makes me think Blue will be losing, which makes me think Annie. But hopefully not.
Yeah, hopefully not. Maybe we're good.
Don't want to get ahead of myself, yeah.
Alright, guys, well, that's it. Comment down below what your thoughts were on the premiere and if you have any predictions about episode 2. But until next time, see
See
ya!
ya!